Well, we have some great panelists who I'm going to let introduce themselves. So I guess I'll start with the format. So my name is Stuart. I work for Cafe Imports, and I've been working in coffee for 7 years. So Alex, if you'd like to tell the crowd who you are and what you do.
Hey guys, I'm Alex. I'm the co-owner of Coffe Lab, which is a newly open roaster in Bucharest, Romania. And thanks for being here. Have fun tonight, tomorrow. There's like plenty of events. I don't know. That's me.
Hello everybody, my name is Cezara. I'm ever since last year the national coordinator for SCA Romania. It's been quite a challenge that I accepted because for the past 7 years I've been working with coffee, but mostly for some big brands in the industry. So right now I am a coffee capabilities expert for Lavazza, which is ever since last year from a joint venture with Coca-Cola HBC Romania and worldwide level. And yeah, been competing. The first woman who was a national champion barista in 2015, and and Alex, he forgot to mention about himself that in 2016 he became the world champion in roasting.
Thank you.
So everybody knows Silvia.
She's apparently, for once, she's feeling shy.
She doesn't need anything. Hello everybody, I'm Vlad. I'm co-owner of one of the pioneers of specialty coffee in Romania, of Steam Coffee Shop. I was also a competitor, first for Brewers Cup for Romania in 2012. It's a long time ago. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here and to answer any questions and to talk about what's happening here. Thank you.
So, you know me, okay? I'm Silvia. I was founding Specialty Coffee Association in Romania. I was working from last 13 years, I don't know, in coffee. I start because I have a coffee magazine, and I realized that when I meet people in coffee, I really like them because they are special. I don't know, this is my impression. I still, yeah, exactly. And I had a dream, and today I had another success in my dream because in 2008 I was in a world championship, and we had a chapter, but we didn't have a Romanian coordinator. So it was a lady in Specialty Coffee Association, old one, and she said, yeah, Romanians usually start something, but you don't finish things that you want to do. So I said, oh, fuck, this is not good. So I will use fuck because it's my, my advertising. So I said, okay, I will do this. I want to show to the people and to the world that we are really special, and here we can grow everything. Like we have the same chance. Only we need more enthusiasm and more work. We have to work more than others because we are in East of Europe. So I let them to present them because I'm really proud to be here with them, and I have in our audience other baristas that I'm really proud that they are here. And oh, it's so emotional. Yes, so I love this event. I love what happens, and thank you special for my baristas from Romania that they came here and support this event. First for them, and after for the others.
Thank you, Silvia. I think it'd be nice to it's always good, especially to hear from people who've been in the industry for a while, how things were when they first started in coffee here in Romania. I mean, you've kind of said a little bit about your first experiences, and I don't know if anyone wants to answer that question, how it was when they started. Anyone?
Me? Okay. So basically, I came from a non-drinking coffee. I wasn't drinking coffee, more or less simple. But when I first like every barista, I think, you know, latte art is the first thing that inspires you or something, because you see all those drawings and you see the people on the internet doing stuff that are really amazing, and then it's like something like a game changer. So this is how I started. We were like, me and Kati had a restaurant, and we were like doing bad coffee because we thought coffee is bad, like in general. Me being a non-drinker of coffee. So yeah, and then we started like doing more classes because we found out specialty coffee, which wasn't bitter, and it was like a bit sweet and floral from what I remember, like nothing like flavors or anything, because I'd be lying if I'd say like, wow, this coffee has like so many flavors and so on. But the thing is, you know, that everything like changed when you noticed that the coffee can be like, not necessarily can be, but it should be different than the brands that unfortunately they have like, sorry about it, not to be offended by anybody or something, but it's like, yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's for another market. So specialty coffee is like totally different. So for me, like becoming from a non-drinker to like a world champion, it's been like a lot of work, but mostly passion and like a lot of hard work and dedication. And first, the most important thing is like being open-minded. And I keep saying it, like don't be afraid to like go outside of the box to do something like more extraordinary. So that's me with coffee. And I started like 5 years ago, something like that. So I'm not as old in coffee as maybe others are, like probably you guys. So I don't know.
I still remember my first experience with specialty coffee, because this was the game changer for me. Because when I had my first job as a barista, I wasn't working in specialty market, and it was 6 years ago. This year will mark the 6th year after I had this wonderful experience. It was at a coffee festival here in Bucharest. I came straight from Cluj, which is 500 kilometers away. And we didn't sleep almost the whole night. And when we arrived, there was this bar that were some guys pulling shots of some blend. It was in Ethiopia and Kenya. And for me, that was the most unbelievable experience that I had, because that espresso, I still remember it. It was like a fruit explosion in my mouth when I tasted it. It was so juicy and so flavorful and so complex that I said, no way, what did you put in this? This cannot be coffee. And ever since, I was absolutely captivated by what I started to learn and to find out. And I'm still searching and still learning, and I'm still amazed by everything that's happening in this coffee industry and how everything is developing. So, yeah.
I think your question, was how was the thing in Romania when we started, right?
Yeah, when you started. Yeah. So, you know, what was the scene like? It was just you alone?
No. Yes. It was a time. It was basically nothing, but I remember competing in 2011. It was not so long ago. It's only 7 years. But I was living in Cluj, in my hometown, and I was competing against Mihai, who's sitting there. And so there was no specialty coffee in Romania. You couldn't find specialty coffee in Romania, like somebody to roast it or to, you know. So he bought his coffee for competition from England, and somebody brought it to Cluj, and I brought it to Bucharest. So that was the level, and he competed with that coffee, you know, so the times changed a lot. So,
do you guys, especially given all of your involvement in competition, I mean, different coffee communities have different engagement with competitions. Some places people aren't so interested. Do you think it's a big factor in, it seems like it's a big factor in driving the Romanian coffee scene, especially, and it's drawing a lot of attention now, especially with your win, Alex, and recent successes on the World Barista stage as well. Do you think it's a big part of the community here, or it just seems like it from the outside?
I'm totally sure that it's a huge part, and when we started it was the only way to get informations. There were no too many classes or ASTs or I don't know, only the competition and the feedback of the judges and exchanging informations with your fellow competitors. So that was the only way to learn about coffee.
Yeah. So the first championship was in 2010, and we had like 22 baristas from all over the country, but it was not all over the country. They have been 2 from other cities and 20 from Bucharest. So I was like, okay, so what we do, because other people don't have the same chance with Bucharest, because we had the competitions there. So after that, I decided to make regionals competitions. And I remember I'm very good friend with Tassos, and he said, you know, you are totally crazy. You don't know what it means to make regionals. And I said, I have to do it. Otherwise, we will not have competition only between people from Bucharest. So I was traveling 5 years with these guys. Some of them are not you. One time.
Sorry about that.
One of them, they are here. I was traveling in Romania. I still have pictures with how I was traveling with my car full of things to different cities. And after that, this was the impact for the local community. So we had 3 winners to come to the finals in Bucharest, and they came, and this changed. And after 5 years, we decided to split the competition in 2 cities, the biggest ones in coffee. So we give people a chance to exchange the experience with that community. So we try to be together more often.
So you're still doing regionals every year?
No, I decided after I was like totally breakdown. The limit of my nerves was out. I said, okay, I'm not doing it. I cannot. I mean, it's too much. So now I'm thinking to start again.
And now
because I had 2 years for,
resumes.
you know, I had 2 years break and vacation. So
can I ask, how many barista competitors did you have in the last round where Adrian won?
Last round we had.
Is it just you?
6. No, now actually, because the level is too high and people, they have access to the competition outside and worldwide. They know what means specialty coffee, and now they are more serious in competing. I mean, they are trying to find the best coffee, trying the best to share the best experience. And because of that, and because of media and everything, they are scared to compete. Like in the beginning, when I had like few kilos of coffee, and I said, okay, before starting the competition regionals, I was doing with 2-3 guys small trainings, what means the competition. So after that, they compete, and it was easy in that time because people didn't understand the level. So now they are afraid to compete like in the past. So now they are more prepared. And they are coming prepared.
Actually, I think that the level is not yet too high. It's going there. Yeah, we've seen some really, really amazing changes that happened in the past 3 years in the competitions. Indeed, the game has changed, and the bar was raised, because we started to have really good performances at the world level, which means a lot in order to have better competition year after year. I think that the competitors, not that are afraid to compete, they just don't know what to do exactly, because everything is changing at the world level year after year. The rules are changing, and somehow if they don't have experience in competing, it might be a little confusing for them. But this is just a challenge for them also, because I have seen this year competitors who participated for the first time ever in their brewers competition, in cup tasting, in barista, and they were really motivated after that to come back next year even more prepared and to do even more amazing stuff. So for them, I think that based also on their feedback, was the fact that they were really, they got a huge amount of confidence in what they can do. They couldn't think that they can do or achieve anything. So yeah, I think that we should see in the next years some really, really nice changes with this. And we are looking forward to the moment that when we can say that yes, the level is too high and we cannot do it anymore.
Oh, come on.
I also have another answer to the lack of competitors, at least in Romania. It's the very fast growth of the market. Yeah. It's there are many shops and they need staff, staff to work in the shop.
That's true.
Yeah. So to prepare for a competition, you need time and support from your fellows, from your colleagues, and from your bosses, and so on. And it's not so much time.
Yeah, it is true. I mean,
work.
Yeah.
How many competitors were this year?
At Barista 6.
6. Okay.
So at Brewers were 10, roasting 7,
And
cup tasting 14. Okay. So this is actually true. I mean, some of my guys in the shop wanted to compete as well, like regarding the competition, but we did not have time. Like none of us like had actually time to prepare or do anything. So instead of like just being there just for fun or something, we said like, yeah. But even if we wanted, we couldn't. So yeah.
And also, I think what Vlad was saying is actually a reflection in the change, in the change of the numbers. Somehow the proportions of competitors have shifted in the past years. There are less competitors who come to the most complex championships like Barista or Coffee with Spirits, and more that come to the, let's say, the ones that do not require so much investment and time, and like cup tasting and okay, roasting, but if you are doing it on a daily basis, it's not, you are actually preparing every day for those.
Yeah, because, I mean, I came to Bucharest for the first time last year, which isn't that long ago, but it still feels like since then there's been a lot of change, a lot of new roasters, new cafes. There's like 40 locations listed on the map for the event this 3 days. Do you think Bucharest is now possibly too saturated, like has too many cafes, or you think you still have room?
I don't think so. I mean, still there's gonna be maybe 2 years of like still growing, like the market like opening, especially with some projects, European projects that are now being funded, like startup nations and stuff like that, where you can actually get money from the European Union and open a roastery, a coffee shop, or restaurant, or whatever the thing you can do based on the projects that you need. But I think there will be still more and more coffee shops. But in the same time, probably some of them will be like closing. And also there is a lack of like, okay, we want to open, but where? That's also a space, a problem of space. Where you're going to open? Everybody wants to open, but if you're like in the worst neighborhood possible, there's basically not going to work. So you're investing money in just brewing coffee by yourself, only to yourself. I don't know, you can be the client, you can be the customer, you can be the barista in the same time, or the roaster, I don't know. You can shift. Today I'm going to roast some coffee for me to brew it tomorrow for me.
Okay.
You know, so it's...
So you think the market still needs to be developed, there still needs to be more interest, more staff, or you think that the biggest problem opening a cafe here is about finding that space?
Finding space, finding staff, and then also there's like the people, the cultural, you know, we're still like not the richest country, and we still like people value money really, you know. I mean, an espresso is like 7-9 lei, 5-9 lei, or something like this, which is quite high for the most of the people. So they're still like, today I was in the morning in the shop and this lady came and said, 7 lei for an espresso, you're crazy, oh, and started yelling at us. And I was like, we were like, don't buy. Nobody forces you to buy it. I mean, clearly you're like a different customer, and they're still like, we have major issues, like everybody wants long shots of espressos or long coffees, and nobody wants filter, because filter is just water and a bit of coffee and stuff like that. But we as a community, I think we're doing like a lot of good things because we are like pushing, first of all, the level, and then we're like educating the customers to like understand the coffee and like, you know, think about like, you know, I do this in every presentation is like thinking if you would go to a cinema and you would like actually order a popcorn that is burnt, you would probably give it back. But as for coffee, it's like, yeah, I'm drinking it, or yeah, this is the way I do it. Or, but at the cinemas, you know, this is burnt. Same thing with coffee, but people need to understand this. And the only way that we're gonna make the people understand is by us changing the way we serve coffees. Like not necessarily all of us, like, because we're like, there are like a lot of shops that are doing like super good job, but there are others who are like not. Like most of the brands are like in, you know.
Can I ask?
Being a hater about the brands. At the end.
Can I ask both of you, just who do you think most of your customers are then, who are coming into your shops? You know, what's the audience here for specialty coffee at the moment?
There are a lot of neighbors, there are a lot of young people, I mean middle-aged people who are working with some culture and who they want better life for themselves, you know. It's like people who are working in people, yeah, who they need a better life quality, you know. So I don't want to say that or that or that.
But yes, it's
people
not
who appreciate more the quality of life.
But it's not specifically because of the issue of price, like wealthy clients or young people. It's everyone. You think it's young people?
I think that, my opinion, what I saw is the new generation and the young people, they have more courage and they try more. And they are not afraid to try different methods or coffees and extraction and stuff like that. And sometimes they have passion to listen. But at the same time, we have the middle class that try to have a better life, and they have starting to have a ritual in weekends at least, go out and try to have a good coffee, not usually like home.
So they can brew good coffee at home as well.
Okay, to avoid having. To avoid having me ask all the questions, which has been a problem in the past, I lose track of time. Do people in the audience have questions for the panel? Yes, I'm going to do this myself this time. I'm going to run up.
That's
hey
not
guys,
running.
Thanks for having us all here this week.
Thanks for being here.
How has sort of an influx or growth of ASTs in Bucharest supported the growth of the specialty coffee industry here in terms of staffing, customers, etc.?
Okay, so we are few in all Romania. I think we are 5, 6, something in all Romania.
Less than 10 anyway.
So less than 10. And we have few schools, and we try to have decent trainings for everyone. So my approach about coffee is that everyone needs education. So I will not say that a big company cannot improve the quality of the products. So we try to help all the community and all the market. So it's not only because of the business, it's also because I believe that education will change everything. So this was my goal when I started the school. So I think it's not about AST, it's about how you share your information, how correct are, and how you give that, you know, like be clear, be honest, try to be not confusing people, and you know, these kind of things. So everyone can educate. Of course, we have some people that they have diplomas and they do proper trainings, but everyone in their place can do education.
also education is like, being an AST doesn't help like grow the market in terms of the customers, you know? Because okay, we grow the market as the stuff in the shops and so on, but this doesn't mean that the people back home or our guests, clients are getting better or understanding the coffees, you know? So it's still up to the guys in the bar. But most of the guys who are doing trainings, I think they're just doing them for home purposes or something, because still we're lacking tons of people. So I don't know where they go, or maybe they go abroad, or I don't know, something like that. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay. Any other questions? One at the back.
Thank you very much. I have a question regarding numbers. If you know any numbers, what percentage roughly would specialty coffee, specialty coffee market be in Romania, and how would that compare percentage-wise with other countries like Germany or UK? How far are we?
You mean in terms of shops or
No, clients. Like
of
people
clients?
So from the coffee market, I think it's enough.
Everyone wants to shout. Okay.
From the whole coffee market, which has a number, I'm sure all the coffee brands make every year some estimations on that. How much, percentage-wise, does the specialty coffee market represent? 0, 1%, 0.5%? And how would that compare to countries like Germany or UK?
Well, first of all, we are comparing a country with, let's say, a very young specialty coffee history to some countries in which this specialty coffee market is really, really developed. So right now, if we were to make a comparison, it would not be a fair one. So what I would say is to see where are we going to be in the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next 5 years, and only then we can benchmark to where we are now. Because right now, unfortunately, in Romania, the specialty coffee market is really, really small. It's a niche, but it's growing. And this can only give us good feedback and optimism for the future in order of what this development can be.
Are there any numbers?
No. No, we don't have numbers.
I have a number, but it's not official, and I would not want to tell anything that's... Yes, less.
I was thinking about 20%, but compared, let's say, to UK,
No, it's
Less than 20.
Less.
So probably she knows better because she's more geeky about it. So, but the thing is, like, you know, we have shops that sell 30 kgs per month, while in UK they serve 30 kgs per day. So,
can I weigh in here?
Yeah, please.
As someone who travels, like I'm very fortunate in my previous role and now in my current role, and working with the Barista Guild, to travel a lot around Europe. I think definitely it's interesting because whenever we take this panel discussion everywhere, I think everyone almost always feels like they're the small guy fighting the big battle. Like even in the United States, where like specialty is incredibly developed, you know, there's great cafes everywhere. It still, I think, represents 25% of the market. So that's like a very, very, very developed marketplace. And I think also this perception, it's funny because I think its fault with the UK is quite false. There's very few cafes in London that are doing more than 20 kilos a week.
We had the friend who was working there, so he was telling us that when he entered the shift, he was like not moving from there. So he said like between 25 to 35 kgs per day.
There are
so this is why I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the idea, excuse me, the idea is that if you compare the market of US, who has 328 million of people with 16, sorry, in Romania. So if you want to have this percent, you can have it. But the idea is that in Europe is not so big the amount of specialty. So we are still very small percent of market. So it's not, this is my opinion in what I saw, like Stuart I'm traveling a lot. So what we can do is to educate the other part of the market and put it inside of the specialty coffee. This is what we can do.
We got another question, unless someone wants to pick out random numbers.
Hello, guys. Hey. I have a question about the next, let's say, next 2 years or so about the market. Having so many specialty coffee shops and so focused on good coffee, and that being the main focus of every coffee shop that I know, especially the independent ones. So putting a big accent on the good coffee and looking at the trend of the commodity coffee, so the commercial coffees, who are turning towards the specialty coffee, which means that the market share is becoming quite important. How will that affect the independent coffee shops? And in what way, let's say, these coffee shops can survive with having such big budgets and such big marketing budgets, which they can influence the market quite a lot, just by playing around by marketing and words. So in this sense, how is in the next 2 years, how do you see the market with this trend coming? And I see it more and more happening. It's
there was this motto from one of the companies here a couple of years ago: "The future is bright." Having the brands turning towards the
Like in light roasted coffees.
yes, having the big brands turning their eyes and their perception towards what is happening now in the specialty coffee shops, it's only a good thing that can happen for these independent shops, because by making this change at the vast majority of consumers, the best thing that is going to happen is that the consumers who didn't get in touch or in contact with these independent shops are going to be much more familiar with what they find in a shop. So for example, if you go to a brand and you find a Chemex or a V60, and okay, it's something different than what you usually have, and then you are going in an independent shop, you're just passing by, and you recognize those devices in the shelves, I think this is going to change the game in a big way for the industry.
And also sorry again. It's also about the community, you know, that is like, once you're our customers will never go to a brand, even though they have like specialty coffee, but knowing that our coffees can be, you know, we're always changing, we're always having new coffees, better coffees. Then in a brand, it's more difficult to change a coffee due to the fact that, you know, you have to send a consistency, and then you have to send an email to whatever guy, and that guy needs to send another email so they can change it. So for us, it's like, okay, let's change it. Yeah, exactly. So already we have like, our only thing is to like be consistent in what we do, like in terms of good coffee, and the rest is gonna be even better for us.
Yeah, the idea is that the brands, they have money to promote now a different aspect of coffee. So in this game, the small shops because
Free marketing.
yeah, exactly. So it will be easy for us to convince the customer that our coffee is better. Only become like coming inside and see everything like Cezara said. So I think it's a chance. And what is important is that if the big brands see that this change is happening and they came here trying to change themselves, so it means that we move something in the industry. So that is most important thing. We move, like in green coffee also, because the people are going to the farms. They see the farmers. They have touch with that. So everything will change in better, because 20 years ago, most of the people who roast coffee, I think they are buying coffee from Italy in the port in Trieste, and somewhere in UK and I don't know, in Germany. Now we have more chances to improve everything from the bean to the cup. So I think this can be better for everyone.
No, it was mostly covered by these guys. And I also wanted to to say the same thing with the community, and also depends where the coffee shop are going. If they want huge growth,
Yeah.
they might lose some, or I don't know, who knows. But with the community around every coffee shop, the future is good, I think. It's
And also, we as like specialty coffee ambassadors, we are like, sometimes we're sacrificing the business part, and which the brands will never sacrifice. This means we can get way more better coffees because we pay more, and while the brands will never pay because it's always Excel's numbers, business, and we sometimes sacrifice this in terms of like, you know, it's our hobby and passion. Sorry. I speak too much.
And getting back to the previous question with the number of coffee shops, if you think that Bucharest is oversaturated by now, I believe that with even more shops that are going to open, the customer will only have to gain because they will have options. And this is a really, really good thing for everybody.
Okay, cool. I think we have time for one more question. I know this lady put her hand up first.
You speak too much.
Thank you very much. I want to turn it in a more optimistical question, I would say. I just want to ask each of the members of the panel what makes them happy working in this industry and what motivates them day by day to work in Bucharest in the coffee industry, specialty coffee industry. Thank you.
You can start now. Because we're gonna definitely. No, you're not going to start.
Working daily in the coffee shop, what I'm doing, it makes me the happiest. That was the reason I started to work with coffee, and this is the reason that keeps me going every day, even after so many years. And I think if somebody is doing something, doesn't matter in which branch, this should be the motivation. Yeah.
And even if you get like a feedback, you know, from a guy who says, "Oh, your coffee is so good," it makes you like carry on. Like even just one person to say this, it feels like, you know, you're like, wow, I really made this guy happy, which a brand will never do. I'm the hater, I know.
Okay. Okay. For me, why I'm still working here is because of the people. So I think the best thing in coffee, specialty coffee, are people. So this is always my motivation because always I find someone who makes me smile and think, this guy can do this and he will be like that and he can do or she can do something. So for me, yeah, I like to discover people who they have passion and they need a little bit push to fly, you know, like a bird. So this is my motivation. Exactly. Yeah. So.
And for me, it's the thing or the confirmation of knowing that things can change, and we are doing this every day, doing our best, being our best as professional, and being passionate about what we are doing, being ambassadors of coffee in the first place. But most of all, getting to know that you can touch the humans' souls by whatever you can do. And for me, this made me continue, and this made me who I am today, knowing that I can actually reach out to people and make them believe in themselves, and also get to know coffee with some different eyes. And there was another thing that passed through my mind right now. Yes, technology is evolving because we are having really good machines. I mean, if we were to look 10 years ago with what baristas or shops were working with, no, today there are like rocket science, which is really good. And yes, the machines will help us improve there and make us offer a consistent product to the customer. But in the end, what is going to make the difference from anybody in every shop is that human touch that everybody is making, and that changes that and things they are doing in their day-to-day jobs.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I just want to add something.
Always the last word, Alex.
I want to add something about the brands, not in a bad way. Now you know, if a brand is like the brands, like the big brands are starting to change, like, you know, in terms of they want like some origins, it's good for everyone, and at least this is the good thing, you know,
Do you
because
remember? We discussed like 10 minutes ago.
yeah, no, but this is something different, you know, because the farmers need to be paid a little bit more. Because unfortunately, everybody is like being spoiled with good coffees and everything, but the farmers are working like so hard. Like as you saw Tim's presentation, how much work is in like rebuilding that soil, you know? It's a lot of work. And for us, it's like just brewing or roasting or whatever, because we have the option. So if the brands are like getting more better coffees, this means that the farmers will be paid a bit better, and overall, we will have better coffees all over the world.
Oh, yeah, I think, thank you for your very positive question.
We don't have numbers. We don't have numbers. We still don't have.
I have a very short question for all of you, and maybe very short answers. What do you think is unique about coffee in Bucharest?
Every shop has its uniqueness. So we have a recipe, Vlad has a recipe.
No, but about Bucharest compared to London, Berlin.
Yeah.
Short answers.
I think the enthusiasm actually, because we went from nothing to a lot in a very short time. So I think the enthusiasm was one of the key factors, and the access to the information and the eager to learn.
Yeah. No more brands. Sorry about them, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
We will grow like a lot. That's a promise.
Cool. Thank you.